Hello, welcome to Christy's Cropping and Creating. Tonight we are going to create a border that's like this using the Scrap Happy 2 collection. And I just thought this would be fun. Let's see if I can get those metallic papers to show up. Y'all see how that some of this film strip is metallic paper and then some of the camera paper is metallic. Also, I used the scissors border punch, and then I just cut my scissors apart to be the focal point. And then this border is also built on a it's built with dimension. I've got foam squares behind these squares, and I've also got foam squares behind the scissors themselves. Let's see if you can see that. There they are. So I've pre-cut a lot of the pieces just to make this go a little bit faster. My base is 3 inches wide. I obviously could have cut it more narrow since the square punch is more narrow, and I wanted to use it just to make it quick and easy for making my squares. And so, okay, so my base piece is 3 inches. My next piece, which is the film strips, is 2 3/4. And I like just having that 1/8 of an inch of an edge. Again, you could make yours smaller. And then I don't know what, I've already forgotten what this square cuts at. I think it's 1 3/4. Yes, it is 1 3/4. So if you want to make squares just with your trimmer, you can do that. But I did want to make it quick and easy with my square punch. And I'm also going to show you a trick from that. Also, I cut the length of the border down by 1/4 of an inch so that I had my base page showing all the way around the edge. And that's a step that I'm going to do while I'm recording this. So here is a fun border. Oh, I kind of also thought it was going to be fun to do these kind of topsy-turvy. You know, they're not just straight. The squares are layered on in topsy-turvy format. So here we go. We're going to make this fun border really quick. I've already cut my base piece out of Starry Night Shimmer, so I don't need to do that. But my piece that is going to be the next layer of the film strip, I've already cut it the width that I need, but I'm just going to cut, since it's still 12 inches, I'm just going to cut 1/4 of an inch off the edge. Let me move this square. My space, you would think it's big enough, and then it's not, because I have, well, first of all, you have to stay on camera. And second of all, I've got other junk sitting on the desk, which I know y'all can see. But I'm just going to cut 1/4 of an inch. And that's by bringing it to the edge of my gray cutting mat here. So now it is 2 3/4 by 11 3/4. Okay. So that piece is ready to go. And I can actually go ahead and right here to the side, lay that on there for you to start having a visual of that. I've already got 2 squares left over from the paper that has all of our different tools and things on it. And I wanted to alternate papers. So I'm going to use, and I did it on here too. I've got 3 of the squares on this paper. On this border is the paper that has all of our tools. And then 2 of the squares, 2 of the 5, have the cameras, and the cameras have that shimmer to it, which I'm not getting it to show in the light right now. So in other words, I did 3 of one and 2 of the other, and this one will be 3 of one and 2 of the other. It's just the opposite others. Really fast, I want to show you this part. If I don't tear that, oh my goodness, I almost tore it. So here is where I cut out my squares from the tools paper, or the products paper, maybe I should call it that. And you see how I almost have these squares lined up almost perfectly evenly. And I know I've touched on this on some of the other videos as well, but I'm going to finish showing you. I've punched out 2 from the camera paper. Y'all see how those cameras are foiled and they have that great accent? I love this collection. Let me move my trimmer since I don't need it right this second. So if you punch at the end, when you load it, put your paper in at the edge right here and make your first punch. That's catching like that because I almost tore my paper. Then do the same thing at the bottom, come to the edge and punch. And then you can use your 13-inch mat to see where the 6-inch mark is and load your paper to punch. You could even make a mark on your paper to know where to punch. I'm just going to kind of eyeball the center, and because I'm eyeballing it, I might not get it 100% correct, but I'm going to go in here and eyeball and punch. And then after I move this, now I have 3. And so I just kind of need to center between the top and the middle and the middle and the bottom. So again, you know, I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to see that I have, this is hard to, it's hard to show and hold and teach all at the same time. But I'm just going to try to make sure that I have about the same amount of space up here as I do down here. And because I'm looking from the bottom, and then I also felt just now, you can kind of guess that it should come out pretty close to being exact. So let me let go, and that looks pretty well evenly spaced. And so I'll do this one, and then we're gonna, I think I'm ready to assemble once I cut this last square. Ta-da! So now when I cut this off, I have another border that I can use. So that's just helping me conserve paper. And then I'll be able to use it on another. Now I'm putting 5 squares on my topsy-turvy border. And because I did 5, oh, I've got to adhere that. When I punched my scissor punch, you get 9 scissors that you can use. Like 9 full scissors if I did the whole length of the piece. However, you know, we've got to cut them apart, and so this is only part of a set right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, so it's only this piece down here that is messed up. However, you may mess some up cutting them apart, and I'll show you that in just a second. See how one of these legs got a little too short. So so it's good to have a couple to choose from. I have 3 left over from my first border, and I'm just going to need to cut 2 more apart. And I wanted to tell you this trick really quick. At first I was just kind of cutting any old way, and then I realized I really need to cut the bottom of the scissor off first using my microtip scissors, because you want the scissors to have a little bit of a pointy edge. And I can go back and fix the top of the scissors. I can go back and round it after I do this part. So this is a little bit of fussy cutting, and it might be a little bit frustrating, or maybe it's too precise for you because you're like, well, shoot, if I'm using a punch, then I don't want to have to do all that fussy cutting. And that's okay if you don't want to do this. But you see how my, let me see if I can get my light better. You see how the top of the scissors now have a notch in them where I cut the base of the scissor out? Well, I'm just gonna fix that by re-rounding it. It'll make it a little bit thinner, but the handles are kind of thick in terms of the punch anyway. So I just re-rounded it, and now the handle looks okay again. And then I'm gonna snip the base to take this pair of scissors off of the other pair of scissors. And I've already rounded the handle, so that one's ready to go. Actually, this handle, I'm not sure if it's one from earlier or if it's one that I just did and I just didn't fix the top of him real good. But now I have 5, and so I'm not gonna, while this recording is going, I'm not gonna continue to cut the others apart because I have as many as I need. So let me move my squares back off of here so we can adhere this all together. I'm just going to put adhesive on the back of my middle piece, my middle base piece. I think that's one of the first times that I've almost put tape runner on my actual finger. I hit it and some of it did stick to it, believe it or not. Okay, and so I just kind of centered that pretty quickly and not precisely. And I'm gonna pop these up with my foam squares. And I don't always use a lot of foam squares. Let me just go ahead and flip all of these to the back and I'll do it all at the same time. But because I want all of this to be level, and rather than taking the time to cut them apart, I'm just putting 4 on each one on each corner. You could get by with 3 per square, kind of do it in a triangular format. I definitely would not just do 1 in the middle, but if I weren't trying to save time, I would maybe cut these foam squares in half since they are bigger and they can be used like that. But as soon as I get this on here, we will be ready to go for putting them on the actual layout. And I'm just going to eyeball my topsy-turvy method, and I think you could do the same. I will say that for my sample, I did make the middle square pretty much even, like, it's just like straight up and down. And so you choose to do it that way if you would like, or you can choose to have it also kind of off kilter. But I just thought it would be fun to make this a little bit topsy-turvy, and so that's what I did. Just now I started at the bottom. I don't think it matters if you start at the bottom or if you start at the top, but because this one is going this way, I'm going to have this one going that way. And I just eyeballed the spacing of mine earlier. However, my middle one did hit really, really, really close to being on the center at that 6-inch mark. I'm having a hard time getting these papers off the back of my the backings off of the foam squares. Alrighty, so I'm gonna put that one just straight on. And for my scissor, there is a place right in the middle, and of course I'll be able to show you when I actually start doing it, where the handle meets the cutting part of the scissor, and these little foam squares, one will go perfectly right in that place. And so that's what I'm going to do for my scissors. All right, so that one's going that way. This one needs to go this way. I think I'm doing this right. Okay, so here are my little baby foam squares, and you'll see. Oh, I don't like that one. I might need to cut another one after all. I think I do, because I think I messed up his leg when I thought I was fixing his leg, but now that I look at it again, I realize that one of his cutting parts is shorter, just like that other bad one that I had earlier. So let me really quickly round this off. And sorry, y'all, that you have to hear me sniffling with my cold. So I might not have done the greatest on his handles, but I'm just going to put my foam square right there in the center of that circle. I mean, the center of that scissor, and I will do all 5. And then all I have to do is peel off the backs. You know what else these scissors look like? They look like cheerleading bows, or bows in general, like a hair bow for a kid or a doll, or like I said, a cheerleader. That's another thing that it makes me think of. So see, that foam square just goes right in there. And then I also did the scissors going in various directions to make it kind of fun, where some looks like they're cutting up, some look like they're cutting sideways or down. I did kind of like, make sure they were alternating, whether they were pointing to the right or to the left. Sometimes I can drive myself crazy trying to trim on these handles, but it is what it is. So I'm not even, when I place these scissors down, I'm just kind of just plopping them down there. I'm not even making 100% sure they're in the center of the square, but I think it's working out pretty well. So this is the last one. And voila! Now I have a border to use on 2 different pages. It could be one on the far left of my left-hand page, one on the far right of my right-hand page. For that matter, it could be 2 borders on one page. Now, I wouldn't have much room for photos, but let's see, this isn't the right color. Let's see if I have 3 4x6s real quick. I don't think I do, but I could do 3 4x4s in the center of a page, and just go right down the page, boom, boom, boom. That would be a 4x6. So 2 4x4s and then a 4x6, if I wanted to do it on one page. But anyway, y'all get the idea. I wasn't here to show you a page layout tonight. I was here to show you a border fun thing that kind of popped in my mind earlier today. So there we go. This is from the Scrap Happy 2 collection. And y'all feel free to let me know if you have any questions or if you need anything. I am an independent Creative Memories advisor, and you can shop from my website, creativememories.com/user/KRISTIBOLIN. I hope y'all have a good evening, and I will see you for my next video.